Hello everyone and welcome to the 4th episode of the Little Thespian Podcast. On today's episode we talk to Gas Station Wine, all the things they're doing over on their YouTube channel. All things theater is going to be a great time, so let's hop into it. Okay, so hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the 4th episode of the Little Thespian Podcast. On today's episode we have Gas Station Wine, we have Jeremy, Noah, and Delia. How are you guys? First up, I know I ask this to every guest because it's crazy right now, so I want to make sure you guys are all good before we jump in. You all good?
Good.
Yeah, I guess pretty good.
That's good. By the way, this is not wine. Just making sure, drink responsibly. But I wanted to put that in there. This is grape shoots. Anyway. Thank you all for being on. It's great to have more than one guest, and it's amazing to see all of you in this weird time. The first question, everyone wants to know, even though I'm sure a lot of people know already what Gas Station Wine is, but what is Gas Station Wine to you guys? How did it come to be this awesome YouTube channel?
Oh, it's been a bit of a long process, but for me it started off with the class that I was a part of at Abbott, and it was our theater ensemble, and Noah and Delia were both a part of that theater ensemble. And one day a couple of us were talking, and we had noticed that a bunch of us have different interests, but they all sort of share the common platform of performance. And we were like, oh, what if we were to find a way where we could have an outlet that we can use to share all of our different interests and our different talents or things that we just want to try. And Gas Station Wine sort of came out of that conversation.
Wow. No, I like that because it's great. A lot of people have been asking, you keep having people from John Abbott. Well, it's where I did theater, and it's also the fact where so many people, so many ensembles, unfortunately, they tend to drift apart, but it's so great that you guys have came together and made this awesome channel. I'm one that tunes in every time you guys upload a video. Basement Babbles is something I adore, just saying. And those zoom-ins, whoever's doing editing, 10 on 10, guys. Where did that name come from too? Because a lot of people were asking, Gas Station Wine, what exactly does that mean, and why exactly is that a thing?
Who wants to answer?
So I it started in first year, right? We're doing this exercise with a movement teacher, Zachary Fraser, and we had to be all coordinated and everything, but we weren't we weren't so good at it. And so Zach came up with he said, guys, in the world there is types of wine. You are almost gas station wine. So that's like so good in the wine spectrum. And a few years later, we asked him again, what are we now? And he said, now you are definitely a good gas station wine. And there we are.
I love Zach. Yeah, shout out to Zach Fraser, guys. He's amazing. And that's an amazing story. I never knew that, but sounds like Zach to me. So in regards to all the things that you guys have done so far, and in theater in general, what are you guys looking forward to now that you guys are out of school, because you guys just finished at John Abbott? So what exactly does your future look like in your eyes right now?
Well, all of us will be going to school again right after, in various different domains, all kind of related to theater in one way or another. But I think for me personally, one of my goals after graduating was always to create my own stuff. Goodness knows how many times our teachers told us that was the way to create work for yourself. And I just got especially lucky. We were all super lucky to be in an ensemble where we work really well together and that we enjoy working together. So I think, after graduating, doing this was one of the things that I wanted to do, along with continuing my studies. And so, that's what it looks like for me.
Mm-hmm. I would say a very similar sort of thing for me is I also I knew that I wanted to continue doing some form of theater or performance or something in that area, and more than that, I also wanted to have a hand in the creation of whatever I'd be working on. And when this sort of started bubbling up as oh, this could be a possible thing that we're going to start making, it felt like, well, this is exactly in line with what I was wanting to do. And in this way, it's sort of we can have a bit more of a creative touch on it than in some other cases where we might only be restricted to writing, or we might only be restricted to choreographing or music composing, or in this area we can do a whole bunch of things, and the limit is really just the one that we give ourselves.
Yeah, for me it's exactly the same thing that they just said. When you're in school, you have to create every day. You have to you have homework, you have this and that to do, and then you come out of there and you're like, oh, well, I don't necessarily I cannot channel my creative energy anywhere. So you must find a way. And I think for me, this is a beautiful way of doing it. I'm not just gonna waste it everywhere. I'm gonna channel it somewhere and use it for real. And I think I'm someone that needs to use that energy, because if I don't, I become crazy in my own life. I say weird things and then, oh boy. And so I needed a way to channel that and just creating my own stuff. And that's just a beautiful dream.
Yeah. I guess to go off of that, and I said this to Vic last week, because she's done so much too, in regards to making theater and making all sorts of types of art. How exactly, what advice would you give to people that are kind of tedious in joining the arts?
When you say tedious in joining the arts?
Meaning, like, again, when people don't know if this is what they want to pursue, and then you guys just came out of school to do theater. People who don't want to exactly take that leap, but might want to pursue acting or might want to pursue all these things that you guys were saying. Do you guys have any words of wisdom, I guess, in regards to creating all these amazing things that the arts can give you?
I think like my words of wisdom, if you will, would be that, like, I think the beautiful thing with like creating and with making art is that as much as you can feel like there's a pressure to like make it good or to like keep on doing it at like a regular schedule, like in reality, there's nothing saying that you can't just like try it and then stop, or like try it at your own pace. Like you can so very easily do that. And I think that if there are people who are like timid in like pursuing some form of art, it doesn't have to be like your end all and be all, but you can certainly still try it, and you can try it at your own pace, and no one's going to fault you for that. And I think maybe like the one struggle with that I've certainly faced is just getting past feeling like there's some sort of expectation that needs to be upheld, especially in the early stages. Like in the early stages or throughout the entirety of your creation process, mistakes are going to happen. Things will not be perfect. And it's just about figuring out what it is that you like about it. And if you don't like anything about it, you don't have to do it.
Well, yeah, I agree. It's the thing of like, it's also such a collaborative effort, right? So if like you don't want to really pursue it, there are other there's other ways you can go. There's other paths, right? My next question has to do with, how do you guys come up with the material that you guys put up onto your YouTube channel? Because you have so many people, and I'm really curious into how exactly something sparks and then a YouTube video comes out.
So a few of our videos are actually things we did in school or for school previously. And so they had more structure given to us by teachers as assignments or presentations, and we had them recorded. And so we've been releasing those. But the ones that we've created like specifically now, like I don't remember how it went at the very beginning. It was just kind of like random ideas that we'd talk about. And then eventually we were like, okay, if we're going to do this consistently, we're going to have to organize the random ideas. And so we meet weekly, actually twice a week. And but every like 4 weeks we have like, we call it the pitch ditch, and we just like throw all our ideas in there and like discuss them and see like who wants to work on what, and like who's gonna do like the filming, editing, writing, and all of that. And we try, like, we're still like, we're not like super experienced at this, and we're still figuring it out as we go. But yeah, and we try to keep track of how the projects are going and like see what goals we can meet and what we can share with the world. And yeah, so it's a fun time.
And I'm guessing like editing and all that, that changes with almost every video, or?
Yeah, it depends on the project and like the style of the project and like who's doing it. Jer has been doing a lot of the editing recently, but he isn't the only one, and hopefully won't be forever.
Something else I will say for Basement Babbles, we ended up having like, well, for Basement Babbles and also for Backstage, we had like other people like from outside of our original class who were like studying like video production, who did the editing and did the production on those videos. And it was like, I found that was one of the cool things about being like in a CEGEP where you have all these different like programs, is like getting to connect with all these different people, and then like also like bringing them onto the same project, showing that like these programs that can seem very divided can also come together. And I like to think like maybe if we were to have been there longer, there may have been more connection with other programs or other students from different walks of life. Who knows?
And see, that's the thing too. Like theater, like I said, it's very collaborative, but it's also the fact too of there's so many things that classify as theater, right? I'm going to be talking next week. This is a hint, guys, or not really the hint, but who's going to be on next week? Aaron Yardley Jones will be on next week in regards to musicals. So that's going to be great. Musicals and dance and all that jazz. Pun intended. But yes, so that's the thing. Like it's so collaborative, and I'm so glad that you guys are doing something with the whole ensemble. It's great, and I just want to tell you guys that before we continue. Just continue doing what you guys are doing. I really love it. I know a lot of other people love it, so keep it up. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So with that being said, when it comes to YouTube in general, you guys say you are new to this, but it's the fact of you guys have your own page and whatnot. Do you guys have any words of advice that you could just glance over? It's fine. It's just to add in a question in regards to YouTube. Do you guys have any suggestions or whatnot to people that might want to pursue something in YouTube, because it's so easy per se to jump on and create a channel? But do you guys have any words of wisdom in regards to that?
I'd say if you want to do something, and if you believe in it, if you like it, if you love it, do it. Because YouTube is a worldwide website, right? There is always going to be some people loving it. And so if you love it, if you believe in it for real, what's stopping you? Just do it.
Just do it. I love it. So due to we're on the Little Thespian Podcast, I want to get your guys' thoughts and how exactly you guys got into theater from each of you, because everyone's different, how they got into theater and how exactly they sparked this love for this art that I love so dearly, as you guys can see. Yeah, so how exactly did you guys get into theater and all these arts?
Who wants to go first?
You go, Jeremy. I see you. You want to talk.
I got into it. My first encounter with theater would have been in elementary school. I was a caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, and that was a fun time. I really liked it. But then, that was just like a one-off sort of thing. Like everyone was in the play in like elementary school, and then I was like, okay, in high school, what do I like? I like music, and I went into music. And I was like dead set on going into music, like post-secondary. And what changed my mind was I went to the open house at John Abbott and I saw the theater program, and I was flabbergasted. I was like, what? This exists? And I was just immediately excited and enthralled with what I saw. And I was like, all right, I got to find some sort of way of doing this. And that's what initially got me into theater. Yeah.
Wow. Noah?
Yeah, for me, so the first time I got introduced to theater was in elementary school too. I did The King of Hearts, I think. So I was a talking card, and I really enjoyed that. It was like a fun time with like making your brain go and making like learning lines and then doing it for real just in front of people, you know? Hey mom, hey dad, yeah, okay, I'm a card, I love it. And then high school came on, and I decided to join the improv team. None of my friends were in there, so I just walked in this weird room one day, and I saw people doing weird things, and was like, yeah, I'm in. So I did improv for 5 years, and then I was like, I don't want to lose this, you know. It became part of me to just have fun with words and have fun with ideas and everything, and so I hopped into theater to not lose this. And so here I am after John Abbott, 3 years of theater in English, because that's another thing. I said, oh, I could go to a French CJEP like I should do, and then I said, no, look, there's John Abbott. There's a nice challenge. Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
Delia, yours.
Yeah. So my first theater experience was also in elementary school. I was a princess that rejected the prince. Yeah. Anyways, I wasn't a main character or anything, and I honestly wasn't super interested in theater. But I did like different types of performing arts like all throughout my childhood, like music and dance, and I was actually in like a professional ballet training program in high school, and it was intense, and I was not convinced by the end of it that I wanted to be a ballerina, but I did want to perform somehow. And like I think the aspect of dance that I liked the most was the storytelling. And like that combined with the fact that like I wanted to do musicals somehow led me to be like, okay, I should learn how to act. And so yeah, and so that's what led me to like research, because I was actually because I'm Mexican, and so like my family was living in Mexico for that last year of high school when I had to apply to stage chef. And so I didn't actually go to John Abbott. I had to like video audition and everything, and it was like a whole big deal. And my parents were like, aren't you gonna go into sciences? And I was like, no, I'm going into theater. And they're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I honestly don't regret it at all. It was the best decision that I made
Wow.
so far. Yeah.
That's the first time I'm hearing it, but I'm glad you did. And I'm glad you guys had a great road to where you guys are right now. And it's crazy that you all have started from elementary school. It's a great little tidbit. Yeah. So I'm going to talk to you guys in regards to two more questions. Unfortunately, then it's going to be time to go. So the next question is in regards to all the things that you guys have put out. Not that you necessarily need to say what your favorite is, but do you guys have any things that you look back on and you're like, okay, we did that well?
I think like because we only have I think like in and around like 7 videos up on our YouTube right now, and they're all like in drastically different domains of like performance. That sort of question is like, it's kind of like, you know how parents will be like, oh no, I have like kids, and like the kids are so different from one another, and it's like, oh, I'll love this kid like for this reason, and I love this kid because of these things that they do. And it's like, it's not that they love one kid more than the other, but they love them like equally. They love them individually, right? Mm. Like I think that's where I at least sit on it. And I'm also like, I also have that same feeling for like videos that aren't released yet, that like we have planned to be
Yeah.
released, because like and they're all like just
Completely
different
diverse,
worlds. Yeah.
No, I get that. And it's great that there's so many different things that you guys have put out. I can laugh so much, and then I could be inspired in one of your first videos. I'll put the link down below. You guys know what I'm talking about. And to piggyback off of that, for our last question, is there anything you guys want to inspire, like for people to take with them when they watch your videos, as they go on with their day? Is there anything you guys want to put out there for the world during this crazy time?
Can I answer that one?
Go for it.
So we do have a mandate, which is basically kind of what we talked about at the very beginning. Like, what do? We try to just have a place for all different types of art and crazy ideas and everything. But the goal behind it is for people to somehow feel like they can speak and that they're being heard, and that they can also hear other people's voices. And so just to create communication, whether that be through like some weird, crazy skit that's totally absurd, or through something that's a lot more like literal and heartfelt and honest. Sorry, my phone is dying. Yeah, this happens a lot. But yeah, just like regardless of the nature of the video or the art form or anything, just we're trying to just help people connect through ideas and through art.
I think that's a perfect way for me to lead it off. Ideas and art. I love it. So, unfortunately, guys, it's time to say goodbye. But as with every episode, I'm going to shed a light on the amazing people and what they're doing. So, Gas Station Wine Guides, all their stuff's going to be down below. Thank you all for being on. It was great catching up with you. It was great seeing you guys. And thank you for the amazing content you guys have put out. Thank you.
And thank you for inviting us here.
For sure, thank you.
It was great to have you guys on. And if anyone, whoever wants to come on, if you guys want to come back, I'm perfectly okay with that. It was great to see you guys, and I cannot wait to see what you guys have in store. And that mandate, I really love it, and I want you guys to continue doing what you guys are doing. All right, so unfortunately, guys, this is the end of the 4th episode of the Little Thespian Podcast. We will see you all on our next one. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Delia. And I'll see you guys soon. I love you, and I hope you guys keep safe. Bye.
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 The lights are off. The curtain has fallen, and it's time to say goodbye. Thank you all for joining us on the Little Thespian Podcast. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to ask, either down below or on any of our platforms. On the next episode of the Little Thespian Podcast, we talk to Erin Yardley Jones. All things musical, all things dance, and all things yet to come for this amazing actress. Unfortunately, her show, Chicago, got cancelled due to the pandemic, but I cannot wait to see and hear what is yet to come for this amazing actress, Erin Yardley Jones. If you guys are looking forward to episode 5, don't forget to leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. And if you guys are listening to this, hopefully you all have enjoyed, and hopefully you all have stuck around for these first 4 episodes, and hopefully beyond. We cannot wait to give you guys episode 5. Unfortunately, it will be a bit later this week due to I have a project of which I'm in. But we will see you all on the next episode of the Little Thespian Podcast. This has been your host, Matthew Crandall, and I'll see you all on the next Little Thespian Podcast.